A federal hate crime investigation is underway after a gunman who embraced racist, white supremacist ideology shot and killed 3 black people at a Dollar General store in a predominantly black neighborhood in Jacksonville, Florida. The victims of Saturday's shooting include Angela Carr, a 52-year-old Uber driver who was waiting outside the store, Dollar General employee A.J. Laguerre, who was only 19 and had recently graduated from high school, and 29-year-old Gerald Gallion, a customer who'd planned to spend the rest of the weekend with his young daughter. Meanwhile, the city is also preparing for the impacts of Hurricane Idalia. Joining me now is the mayor of Jacksonville, Donna Deegan. Madam Mayor, welcome and thanks for joining us. I want to begin with your city's preparations for that hurricane expected to make landfall tomorrow. What can you tell us about how you're getting ready and what you're anticipating?
Well, we declared a state of emergency yesterday, which will go through the storm really tomorrow and Thursday. And we've got our crews out preparing. We've opened 6 shelters for folks who feel like they need a place to go during the storm. We aren't offering or we aren't demanding evacuations at this point because we feel like for most folks, they'll probably be okay in their homes. But for people who feel like they're in low-lying areas or perhaps in mobile homes, we've created shelters so that they can go and make sure they feel safe. Beyond that, we've just got our emergency crews that are ready to restore power. We do expect to lose power in some places. We expect some spotty flooding, and we're telling everybody at this point to please just try to hunker down for the next 24 hours until this thing goes by us. It should move pretty fast, and we're hoping that this is mostly just a drill for most of us beyond what may be some isolated problems.
We do hope you and everyone there stays safe. We'll continue our reporting on that storm. Meanwhile, your community is still reeling from that horrific shooting this past weekend. It's only been 3 days, so I just have to ask, how is everyone in your community doing?
Well, I think everyone here is grief-stricken. You know, this is something that I would like to say is a shock, but we have seen a lot of gun violence in our area. We've seen a lot of gun violence, obviously, in the state of Florida and around the country. And it's disheartening to see the same community over and over again be affected by this. I think it is it's a situation where folks sort of have PTSD from everything that they've been through. And I'm heartbroken for our community.
Mayor Deegan, it's been noted the alleged gunman in this case had a 2016 domestic violence incident, also was involuntarily committed for 72 hours back in 2017. He was a minor at the time. He was still able to legally purchase 2 AR-15 style weapons that he used in this attack. Should he have been able to?
Well, look, I don't believe that. I think that it's far too easy to get these weapons of war. I don't understand why anyone really needs one. But at the end of the day, that is the legal situation here in Florida. They are very easy to buy, and this gentleman was able to go and find one relatively easily. And as you know, he had a manifesto that he wrote that was just full of hate for Black people, and he took those guns and he took the lives of 3 precious people here in our community. And I think it's so unfortunate that folks like him can buy guns that easily, especially given his background.
As you saw and we've reported, Governor DeSantis attended a vigil on Sunday. He was booed by people in the community there. And I want to point you towards a line from an opinion piece that appeared in the Florida Times-Union, where columnist Nate Monroe partly laid the blame of that shooting on leaders like Mr. DeSantis. This is what he wrote, quote, "Wars on woke and villainizing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and peddling the fictitious chivalry of the nation's slave-holding founders. It is catnip for awful people with awful ideas." Mayor Deegan, do you agree with that? Those policies, does that language, those contribute to these kinds of attacks?
Look, I ran for this office on unity. I said that we needed to stop the divisive rhetoric. We needed to stop having a them versus us mentality. And I believe that divisive rhetoric, I believe that policies that divide, I believe that saying that slavery may have been beneficial, things like that do not help to bring our community together. Now, I have to say that I am glad that Governor DeSantis was here for that vigil. I was there also, and I think that it is if we are ever going to have unity in our community, in our state, or in our nation, we have to begin communicating with each other. And at least because he was here, he saw that pain. And I hope in some way that it may have affected him.
It's about bringing your community together. Residents will also say it's about making sure they feel safe. For Black residents specifically, as you know, we've heard a lot in the last few days about the long history of violence against Black residents in Florida and Jacksonville, particular over America's history, like a number of southern cities. You've had a fight in your city about removing Confederate statues. There were Nazis hanging flags over highways last year. What do you say to Black residents of Jacksonville who do not feel safe right now?
Well, I have said to those residents for a long, long time that I believe that those monuments should go. The previous mayor to me had asked that they come down. He removed one of those monuments. He was not able to remove the other one, at least by the time he left office. That had not happened. And so we continue to believe that's something that should happen. And those monuments to white supremacy should go. That is certainly something that I am focused on in my administration.
That is the mayor of Jacksonville, Florida, Donna Deegan. Madam Mayor, we are thinking of everyone in your community after the shooting and hoping everyone stays safe in the path of this hurricane. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.